What's more important, electricity or Wi-Fi? Don't answer that, it's a trick question because you can't have Wi-Fi without electricity, but Wi-Fi has become equally important as electric in our houses today. That's why you need a good router to power it all up. Hey everyone, this is Abbas from Tech Radar, and today we are taking a look at the Velop Wi-Fi 6 router. As the name suggests, the Velop Wi-Fi 6 is based on the Wi-Fi 6 standards, which offers significantly faster speeds than the outgoing Wi-Fi 5 standard. As far as the size of this unit is concerned, you can see that it's quite a bit bigger from the previous Velop models, and that's probably to accommodate the extra antennas that are needed for Wi-Fi 6. Velop is a mesh Wi-Fi system, which means that you can add additional units to extend the range in your house. One of the interesting things is that this new Wi-Fi 6 version of Velop, there is no master node. All of them can act as master or a mesh network node. Each one of these ports has 4 network connections, one of which can be plugged into your ISP. It's marked clearly in yellow, so you know exactly where to do that. If you're based in the UAE, you have Du or Etisalat as your ISPs. Now, if you have Du, it's quite easy. You simply plug in the connection and you're all set. If you have Etisalat, which requires a username and password, there is an additional step that you have to work through the app. It's not difficult, but it just adds a little complexity to the setup, which unfortunately Linksys can't do anything about, and you have to disconnect from the Wi-Fi and reconnect to the WPS network of this Wi-Fi to put those in. Works, just an additional step that you need to do. Other ports include a USB port as well as a reset and WPS buttons at the bottom of the router. There is an LED on top as well, which gives you the status of it. Now, as far as the features of this router is concerned, let's go and take a look at the app, which pretty much highlights everything that's on this router. So here's the main menu, which shows you the devices that are already on your network. Now you can customize each of these devices. You can go in there and you can rename it as well. It tells you the strength or the signal of the Wi-Fi the device is connected to, which access point it's connected to, and you can also give this device a priority or parental controls, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, so coming back to the menu, you've got parental controls, where what you can do is add devices, and on those devices you can pause internet access, you can schedule a pause, or you can block specific websites. Generally things that you'd like to be able to do, from that. Now you can schedule based on days and times. You can't have multiple schedules, so you can't say that, pause the internet from 1 to 3 p.m. and then again 7 to 9 p.m. on a particular day. It's just one little one on there. Also missing is that you can't group objects together. So if your kid has 5 different devices or 3 different devices, you can group them together and then apply that parental control on the whole group. It needs to be individually on each device. External storage. Now you have USB ports on each of the nodes, so if you want to connect that, you can do that. Authentication, I guess if you would require a username and password to access that, it's a good little feature, I think, good little way to connect network access storage. Priority. Now priority is more or less just a quality of service. Basically it prioritizes certain devices to sort of be pushed ahead of the stack on your routing. Now this particular device doesn't have priority by app, but I did notice in the manual it mentioned that you could prioritize Zoom or video calls and stuff like that. I don't have that here. Maybe it's a region specific setting, but here in the Middle East we don't have that. You simply add a device that you want to prioritize, and that's pretty much it. I mean, let's just go ahead and do that. You might want to do that for your streaming devices, where you're watching video on, or if you're conducting voice calls or video calls from your laptop, you want to do that, or gaming. A lot of people use that for gaming. Network administration, let's go ahead and do that. So it's showing me the 2 access points that I have currently set up. Let's go into any one of them. It just displays model number, IP address, and firmware. Quick to get to. Change Velop password, automatic firmware update. It actually did that at night time. When I originally got the unit, it was on a lower firmware. It told me that a firmware update is available, but I didn't update that in there. It said that it's going to update it overnight, and the next morning when I woke up, the unit was updated. You can set the time zone, you can set the transmit region, which is set to Middle East. Now there is a separate one for Saudi Arabia for some reason, so I'm assuming they use separate channels, but here in the UAE, you just choose Middle East, and that pretty much is. Now that we've looked at the features this router offers, let's find out about the speed, reliability, and the range of this router. Starting with speed, this is a Wi-Fi 6 model, so expect better speeds. I certainly did. Whereas on my Wi-Fi, I was getting 400 Mbps to 500 Mbps download speeds. This provided me with at least 700 Mbps, so that's a significant boost in the speeds. As far as range is concerned, I didn't notice any range differences between this and the previous models that I've tested. Wherever my Wi-Fi 5 router was able to go, this went, and the places that the Wi-Fi 5 didn't reach, this didn't reach either. Last one is stability, and the 3 days that I was testing the Linksys Velop Wi-Fi 6, I had my internet go down 3 times. Now this could just be a random issue, probably firmware upgrades will fix it, and the internet came back up after a few minutes. I don't have to do anything in particular, but I did notice that my internet disconnected more frequently than the previous solution that I was on. Again, hopefully firmware updates will fix that issue for you. For the latest pricing and the full review, check out techradar.com.